like the story. Well, this was called one of the greatest stories ever told. And when, in the Rembrandt's depiction of this story was described by an art historian, Kenneth Clark, as a picture which those who have seen the original in Leningrad, that would include me, may be forgiven for claiming as the greatest picture ever painted. But why? What's so special there? Because it's so shocking. Yeah? It is outrageous. It's wrong on so many levels. Yeah? We just heard the story. What the youngest son did was wrong. What the older son did or didn't do was wrong. And even what father did and said, to most of us, would sound and seem wrong. Because when your younger son insults you this way, by taking his share of inheritance and just wishing you were already dead, and just squanders it, what you do, what the people did on such occasion, they held a symbolic funeral. They gathered the rest of the family, friends, neighbors, and the father said, well, I had a son, and I have a son no more. He's dead to me. He's done and gone. Out means out, like for Brexit. Out is out. And, well, that's what people do. But this parable, it isn't about the prodigal son or two, because both are lost, one outside the house, one in the house. This is a parable about the merciful Father. And as we continue the celebration of the Jubilee and go through these themes that we chose to meditate on during this Lent, we had release of the captives, time of worship. Last Sunday it was time of rest, at least for Father James, because Michelle did the talking, the most of it. And today we are at the fourth, which is forgiveness of debt. So, what is that? Well, the forgiveness. Let's just zoom in on this word, forgiveness. What does it mean? Well, first of all, you don't justify the actions of the person who did something wrong. Wrong is wrong. The sin is a sin. You don't justify the sin. But what you do, you justify the sinner. You separate the person who did something wrong from what that person did. You say, okay, there's a good person who did something terrible. That's the only way. And this is how forgiveness works. And we hesitate to forgive because we think that, oh, if I forgive, it will mean that I'm okay with what he did. And I'm not. And I'm right not to be. It was wrong. It was terrible. It was outrageous. Scandalous, terrible. Well, there's a whole dictionary with words like that. But then you say, okay, but the person who did it is not what the person does. Person is something else. Yeah? And you find that the good in that person, and you say, okay, I choose to look at you, not at what you do, but that I'm looking at you. So this is forgiveness. Yeah? And of course, in the middle of that word is a word we use way too much and without thinking. I forgive you. Or do you forgive? I forgive you. But what does it mean? What's in the word? And let's stop for a while and just contemplate that word. What is the root of this word? It will appear in pink because it's pink. It's to give. Yeah. So this word consists of 4 give. And in English it might not be so obvious, but if you switch to Latvian, as you do, piedot, to forgive in Latvian means piedot. Dot means to give. Piedot. Well, this pie means more. You give more. You add. Yeah, it's not that you give back. You give more. Literally, that means that you piedot. You give more. It's something similar is in French. Yeah? Pardonner, donner. The same in Spanish. We just yesterday had the Spanish Mass. Perdonar, donar, donate. Yeah? It's the same. So let's go back to the English version. Forgive. Yeah? So now you will never unsee that. Yeah? I'm sorry, I just spoiled your life, but I hope it's forever. And so, how does it work? And sometimes some visual aids are okay. So imagine you, on the top, have 7 balls. It could be anything, I don't care. They are just pink because it's the theme of today. And then you give someone something, or just the person takes it from you, or for whatever reason, something that is yours is no more, and someone has it. And for some people, forgiveness would look like, you give me back what is duly mine. Yeah? And then some interest, of course, and then even if I gave it to you, even if it was a gift, I want it back. Well, you see things like that in the politics today. And then we are even. Even Stephen, yes, we are squared. Yeah, that's it. For many people, that's what forgiveness is. Well, for some, it seems better. Okay, someone has something that you had. There's no chance in the world that you will get it back. So what you do, you erase the debt. You say, it's erased from existence. I forgave you. But you see what's there. There's a hole in the hole. Well, how do you pronounce? W-H-O-L. Hole and hole. There's a hole in the hole. I'm sorry. I have to move my jaws. So, and this is not right. Yeah, you had 7 balls. Now you have 6. There's a hole in the universe. Yeah? It's wrong. Yeah, because we just don't understand what forgiveness is. And what we see here in today's reading, what Father does. Okay, Son has taken more than he should. And he has lost it. So this is just an offense, inimaginable offense. And what Father does, and now just find the screen and watch carefully. Father does this. He gives everything he has. That makes no sense. That's preposterous, or I don't know the words in English, but that's just, it's, but then you look at that and there's still 7 balls. And if all that is mine is yours, like this older brother, he has this transactional love with his father, then you see, oh, I have nothing, father, he has everything. But if I am yours and you are mine, I still have 7 balls. I don't care that you have them. Yeah? I forgave you. I gave you more. I gave you everything. Like Teresa of Child Jesus, there was such a beautiful saint. She had this poem, Vivre d'amour, and somewhere in that poem, she says, to live on love is to give without measure, without claiming wages here below. Without counting, I give, being sure that when one loves, one does not calculate. Lorsqu'on aime, on ne calcule pas. You do not calculate. You don't. It doesn't matter. Yeah, take it. 6 bags full. Yeah, just take it. I don't care. If you love, if you have this agape kind of love in you. And forgiveness, this kind of forgiveness is just an expression of the love. And so, you know that you are in love. We'll return to that in a moment. But there's why it is important. 2 weeks back, on a Monday morning, we read this beautiful passage in Gospel of Luke, chapter 6, verse 36. You can look up it later in your Bibles. When Jesus says, be merciful just as your Father is merciful. That's the commandment. That's it. That's what he wants. Misericordes sicut pater was the motto of the Jubilee year 9 years ago when the Catholic Church celebrated and wanted everyone to celebrate the mercy of the Father by becoming like a father. And in many churches, I was in a parish in Riga, and we printed out this big poster, and it was Misericordes sicut pater. And every time you entered the church, it was like, merciful as Father. Are you? Do you want to be? You can, if you want. And so Jesus continues, forgive and you will be forgiven, give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you give will be the measure you will get back. It's pretty useful, isn't it? That's what we... have you ever said this prayer, Our Father? You have. We will, just in a few minutes. And what do? We give permission to God to forgive us as we forgive our brother or sister, or both. As we forgive those who have done something wrong, who have taken our ball. And what we do, if we want this kind of forgiveness for ourselves, we have to do it. And some people say, okay, I will try, and it doesn't work this way. And the same as love your enemies. You can not fake it till you make it. It just doesn't happen that way. But what you have to be, and this is the most important thing here, you have to be in God. The love of God has to be in you. You have to be renewed in the image of God. And that's what happened to you. When you were a sin, you were dead. And now you are alive. Not only alive, not only God returned you to the situation that you were before. No, He let you enter in his life. He gave you his grace that unites you with the Holy Trinity. And that is what makes you human, because you are created in the image of God. And as it was said when we spoke about the loving of your enemies, that's not that you have to try hard to love your enemies. You will get mad if you do. It just doesn't work that way. But if something happens in this Lent time or Paschal mystery, you die with Jesus and you resurrect and whatnot, and you wake up one morning and, whoa, I love my enemies. You just find out that it's like that. And when you forgive and they say, okay, I give more. I don't take it back. I just give you 6 times more. Then you know that you love God and you are in God and God's love is in you. You just find out. You don't fake it. You don't try hard to love your enemies, or I will forgive everyone. You won't. Forget about it. But be in God, let God be in you, and it will just happen. It will be there. And so, what do we do? Well, how do we get the grace of God? How do we return home? Or if you are lost at home, like the other brother, how do we pass from all mine is yours to I am yours and you are mine? What we do? Well, if you are not baptized, the baptism should be the first thing you seek, because this is the door through which you enter the house of God, of your Father. And there's a place for you. But he leaves you because he loves you. He leaves you free to choose, be part of his life or not. That's completely your choice. So if you are not baptized, seek baptism. If you are, but you have lost the grace because sin somehow seemed better and you chose wrong, you can come back. And this is what we did this last Friday. For around 20 hours together, there were several priests. We had confessions from 9:30 until 6:30 p.m. non-stop. There was not a moment when a priest had nothing to do. Whole day we celebrated the sacrament of reconciliation. And if you did that, if you are in a state of grace, what should you do? Well, according to the story, you should kill a calf, but instead of murdering an innocent beast or animal, maybe you could buy yourself a cake. Big, fat, pink cake. And eat it. So this was the message of our sponsor, Antoinette's cheesecake. And if you are not, life happened, yeah? Just, there's still time. There's still time. We have a few weeks left. That's why the Letare is in the middle, just to give us the taste of the joy of the Easter, of the resurrection, and even Pentecost. Just give it the foretaste now, so that we still have time to do what's necessary to return home. There's no priest on this planet who will refuse if you ask him, "Oh, Father, can you hear my confession?" This is priority number 1. So, what you do, you come back, and then stand in line, because there's a long line next to the bakery or whatever Antoinette's cheesecake factory is. You just stand in line, get a cake, and eat it with your friends. Invite everyone, and let's celebrate. Yeah, that's what letare means. Rejoice. Yeah, well, that would be the message for today. And please, after you eat the cake, come back for confession, because too much is too much,